also we have over here Ian Lee, CEO of ZA Tech. So Ian, I just want to ask you a few questions. So firstly, can you provide an overview of the current state of the insurance market and highlight any recent trends or developments shaping its landscape?
Yeah, so in our interaction with our clients and conversations with the broader market, what we've seen is there have been some substantial shifts in perspectives. There's a lot of new, very senior leaders rotating through all the biggest firms and the small firms. And then what we've seen is a turn into more practical things and kind of back to basics. So there's a lot of points around how do we drive transformation, but then more focused on margin, profitability, unit economics, these type of things. And so that kind of brings a new lens to a lot of kind of more growth-oriented, raw growth-oriented things. So like pure digital plays, embedded plays now have to take a more, I would say, intelligent and scrutinized lens to things. And so overall, I feel like there is a lot more rigor in terms of all the lessons learned we had in previous years, and then rotating through broader, more fundamental transformations. And then so what we see are things that are more investments into core tech transformations, foundational transformations, and then leaning into potential growth like health transformation, as well as AI and these type of things. And I think things like AI or Gen AI specifically are kind of what the industry is hoping as a kind of shortcut to solving the more difficult problems that the whole industry is facing. But that being said, I think in this kind of what feels like a bear market to everyone, how are we getting to profitability still and growing that profitability? That's what they're really focused on. So then that influences how they're kind of funding technology and how they're looking forward to the next few years.
Yeah, thanks, Ian, for sharing. Also, I wanted to ask, in your opinion, what specific technological advancements or trends are driving innovation within the insurance sector?
Yeah, so as mentioned, we continue to push as ZA the new business models that's coming into the markets, right? So whether it's here in Southeast Asia or more broadly in Europe, and more recently we are, touching into Africa. But in these new markets, they have not seen what we have seen in, like, let's say, China. And so we still try to expand and grow these new business models into this space, and that requires very fundamental things still, like going into cloud and then building it on microservices architecture, thus enabling the more bigger things. And then these are the foundations that are necessary to kind of do all the new cool things. So organizing your data, and then only in this aspect can you really capitalize on AI, right? And especially Gen AI. So actually, we just completed a funding round, and then so in our new name, we will be Peak 3. So peak, like the mountain peaks, and then the number 3. And then in these 3 peaks, we are very focused on infrastructure, so like cloud infrastructure and microservices, and then data, so organizing and getting the right foundations for data, and then enabling AI. And so infrastructure, data, and AI as our 3 peaks of Big 3. So in this new kind of chapter for us, we're really doubling down on what we think is going to be the necessary foundations to grow that into that future and into those new business models.
Okay. And also, I guess from your follow-up question as well, do you want to explain a bit more on Peak in terms of like, why was it created and how does it give an edge in today's market?
Yeah, so we created this. So we just closed the funding round, and then because we have now gone beyond kind of just like pure Asian borders, and then now we made a strong entry into Europe, and now we're doing a soft entry into Africa. And so this new funding round is enabling us, one, for geographic expansion and really pushing what we have proven as business models in Southeast Asia into Europe, but also expanding the scope of what we can do. So now it includes all these new Gen AI use cases. So our heritage as Zhong'an in China, they're already employing very, very interesting Gen AI use cases that are already creating real savings into their operation. So like 15% in their customer services, and then they're hoping for 50% this year. And so we are going to extract how to build those Gen AI agents at scale, and then figure out how to get that deployed to our various clients across the world. So this is really the new spirit and the new foundations of which we're going to grow off of.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like ZA Tech is very innovative in this space as well. And I want to ask one more question, which is looking ahead to the next 3 to 5 years. What do you predict will be the most significant changes or advancements in the insurance ecosystem, and how should industry stakeholders prepare for them?
Yeah. So obviously, the big theme I think is still Gen AI. It's probably going through its kind of very, very fast-growing hype cycle, and then we'll find its kind of reality very quickly. So I imagine in the near first 2 years, we'll start seeing that a lot of investments into Gen AI, and then finding those difficult times of actually making it scale to real practical use cases and find savings or create new growth. And then we'll find our way in the later, like 3, 4, 5 years, those real working use cases get to scale. But I think that first 2 years, what the most important things to get right is, as mentioned, the foundational aspects. So whether it's getting the infrastructure right or getting your data handled quite well. And so then in this way, you can use the Gen AI on effective infrastructure and data. And then using those basic foundations that you could build on top of that. If you don't have those basic foundations, it's kind of just whipping up these really quick POCs, which I think we'll see quite quickly because of what it could do. But then they'll find that, I can't seem to expand this use case to like really large scale, to multi-markets, or to beyond the kind of like small use case borders, and put it into production or even customer facing because of some kind of basic challenges. Also, the Gen AI agents and the resources might change very quickly over time. So already we see like ChatGPT upgraded so many times, and now it's like this really amazing omni product. And then you have Gemini that has gone through their upgrade cycles and rebranding. And so we know that the landscape is quickly changing as well. So then having the right foundations to act on and leverage these new technologies is still important. It's kind of like very, very simple basics. But if you don't get those foundations right, which the insurance industry still hasn't gotten right, then I'm afraid that a lot of people will not see those value creation opportunities in the first 2 years.
Okay, yeah, no, thank you so much, Ian, for sharing your thoughts. Definitely really appreciate it, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.